Hey everyone, Amy Clinton here with Midlife Reignited, and today we have a really quick but important message that not only applies to your marriage but can also be applied to every relationship that you have. Have you heard about love languages? Have you or your partner ever taken the love language quiz? Today we're going to recap what the different love languages are, and we're going to talk about why they're important. So, Dr. Gary Chapman wrote The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate in 1992. And it is still so very relevant today. Since writing that book, he has also expanded on this idea and included books about love languages in your children, if you're single, during arguments, and even how to apologize. So when I mention that it applies to every relationship, I really do mean it. The love languages outline 5 general ways to express and experience love. So according to Dr. Chapman, there are 5 primary languages that we speak. These include words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. Let me give you an overview of the 5 love languages and how people feel loved through each of them. So we're going to start with words of affirmation. In simple terms, words of affirmation love language is about expressing affection through spoken words, praise, or appreciation. And when this is someone's primary love language, they enjoy kind words of encouragement. They also love receiving uplifting quotes, love notes, cute text messages. You can make a person's day by complimenting them or pointing out what they're doing well. Then quality time. Love and affection are expressed through this love language when someone gives someone else their undivided attention. This means putting down the cell phone and turning off the tablet and making eye contact and actively listening. People with this love language are looking for quality over quantity. So when you get together, they feel loved if you are present and focused right on them. Make sure that you make eye contact and affirm what the other person is saying and refrain from offering too much advice. Then physical touch. A person with this love language feels loved through physical affection. Aside from sex, those who have physical touch as their primary love language feel loved when their partner shows physical affection in some way. It could be holding their hand or touching their arm or giving them a massage at the end of the day. Additionally, their idea of a perfect date night might be cuddling on the couch with a glass of wine and a good movie. They simply want to be close to their partners physically. The next one is acts of service. And when someone's primary love language is acts of service, they feel loved and appreciated when people do nice things for them. Whether it's helping with the dishes, putting gas in the car, little acts of service go straight to that person's heart. They love when people do little things for them and can often be found doing little things for others as well. Then, finally, receiving gifts. To a person whose love language is gifts, gift giving is symbolic of love and affection in their mind. They treasure not only the gift itself, but also the time and the effort the gift giver put into it. They're not necessarily looking for a large or an expensive gift. The act of receiving gifts is more of what is behind that gift is what appeals to them. So in other words, when you take the time to pick out a gift specifically for them, it communicates to them that you really know them. Additionally, people with this love language can often remember every little gift that they have received from their loved ones because it's made such an impact on them. So does one particular love language stand out to you? Can you pick out your partner's love language? According to Dr. Chapman, we all have a primary love language, which is the main way that we like to give and receive love. And often this can be shaped by our upbringings. For example, if your parents showered you with praise as a child, you may come to rely on words of affirmation as a way of feeling loved. And therefore, this is how you're most likely to express love. However, it can also work the opposite. If you were raised with very few hugs and little affection, you may really crave physical touch, and this can become your primary love language. It just all depends. In all romantic relationships, it's so important that both people feel loved. But if you have a different love language, which most couples do, by the way, this can cause miscommunications and resentment. Understanding our differing love languages can really help break through communication barriers. For example, if your love language is acts of service, you might think that you are showing your partner love through your actions, so you don't always need to tell them. But if their love language is words of affirmation, they may not feel loved unless you explicitly tell them. Equally, they may shower you with praise, right? Because they don't help enough with the household chores. You're not feeling loved. Effectively, both of you are showing your desire and your love in your own ways, but you might both feel upset and resentful if you're not getting what you need. The biggest thing that we can gain from knowing our love languages is understanding. And when we don't have understanding, we make assumptions. And assumptions, they're typically really dangerous for our relationships. We try to read minds and we think we know what the other person is thinking, but actually, even in long-term relationships, it's really important to continue to try to love one another and try to understand one another. The more you understand what the other one needs, the happier you're both going to be. It's all about feeling cared for, seen, and recognized. Finding out what love language speaks most to you and your partner will help you make less assumptions and focus more on finding ways to show love and affection in a way that they can truly understand. A friend whom I highly respect introduced me to this idea of tending to my husband's needs while staying true to my character. And I must say, it has really, really stuck with me. I take 100% responsibility for my marriage, no matter what. There's no 50-50 here. It's 100-100, and I want to be sure that I have given everything that he needs from me in this relationship while I show up as my best, most authentic self. Now, does that always happen 100% of the time? No, it doesn't. But tending to his love languages on a daily basis is the best way that I know how to accomplish that. Both my husband and I are primarily physical touch, which again is very rare for a couple to have the same love language. But his second language is words of affirmation, and mine is quality time. Words of affirmation don't always come easy to me, so I need to be intentional in telling him all the reasons why I love and appreciate him and how proud I am of the work that he does. As a side note, if you and your partner have taken this quiz a while ago and it feels like maybe something has changed over time, that's completely possible. Ours has changed over time. Sometimes as we age and we grow, our needs change right along with us, and it may be time for you both to retake the quiz. So I'm really excited for you and your partner to take the quiz, either for the first time or to see if something has changed, and start to implement these languages in your own relationship. If you don't think that you're going to be able to get your partner to take the quiz, that's okay. Don't stress. You can do it. You can do it, and just try to answer the questions as your spouse would. You may not get every single answer correct, but I think that you would get pretty darn close, and that's better than not knowing at all, right? Okay, So to take the quiz, simply Google 5 love languages. There are many free tests that you can take online. And after you take the test, I would really, really love it if you would come back and comment below on what you and your spouse's language is and what revelations that you may have gotten from this process. Okay, so that is all for today. Let's take that quiz and let's start speaking our partner's love language on a regular basis. It may take some practice, but you'll get better and they'll start to take notice. You got this.